So, um, hope this video, man. I always say that, but the video probably gonna be long. So, someone asked me about Kevin Samuels, right? And try to tell me about how Kevin Samuels did this and Kevin Samuels did that. And I had to explain to him the timeline, where Kevin Samuels came from and where he was at. And the reason why Kevin Samuels increased is because of the pandemic. See, the pandemic accelerated so much stuff. It exposed so many people. It accelerated a bunch of people's relationships into what they are now. There was a lot of breakups. A lot of people couldn't go around talking crap about people because there was nobody around because everybody had to be on lockdown. Pretty much, the pandemic pretty much exposed everyone's weaknesses. And now we're what? 2 years into still in the pandemic. Not even the after effects because they still talking about vaccines and stuff like that. And then they talking about the increases of of the new variant coming out in the summertime. More people going to get it. Like a million people going to get it now. It was a gift and it's a curse. It accelerated people. It accelerated situations. It shows you where everybody was at a faster rate. So one of the effects was Kevin Samuels. The effect that Kevin Samuels had, he came at the right time. You know why? Because during the pandemic, people had to reflect on themselves. They had to reflect on themselves, and they couldn't rely on talking down to other people during that time. And I'm talking about in real life. So they all came online to try to get their frustrations out or turn to somebody so they can, get their frustrations out or talk about somebody, whatever they were trying to do. And they did it. So Kevin Samuels came up having a talking point. See, red pill men, MGTOW, and any iterations against the status quo was considered loserville. A lot of these new generation of men, and they learned it from the older generation of men, is that you always have to be popular. You can't go against the grain. You have to be somebody who people like or want to be around or whatever comes out, whatever they make up, right? So it becomes more kind of, how can I put it? A lot of men were afraid to talk up because their well was going to go dry. And they needed somebody to look up to that was going to take the hits that they couldn't take a hit. They couldn't, right? They needed a martyr. They got their martyr in Kevin Samuels. He wore a suit. He talked the way he wanted to talk to them. And everybody came forward because all of them wanted to do that. They all wanted to do that to their wives. They all wanted to say the truth. A lot of these dudes are not out here telling women off the way they want to hear it. Or they tell it off in a masterful way where they tell a woman off, but it's not like they telling a woman off. They telling a woman off and saying all this different stuff like, hey B, oh, you get out my face. Get the fuck out my face. They saying it in a way that it's gonna turn them on. These dudes are not saying stuff to women that offends them, because they know if they do that, their pussy faucet gonna turn off. So they don't want to do that. So they needed somebody to vent their frustrations out too. But they couldn't do it themselves, so they needed somebody to turn to so they can watch. And Kevin Samuels was the thing. This is the reason why everybody is saying respectful and stuff. But these are the same people who never came in the manosphere. They never came on Kevin Samuels' show. You didn't hear a peep from none of these celebrities. Yeah, I heard a pro wrestler put his profile as Kevin Samuels or whatever. All these people who said they loved Kevin Samuels when he was alive, they didn't do nothing to support him. So that told me that a lot of these dudes are cowards. These are the same guys who would throw you under the bus for some vagina, and then when a girl messes them over, they're the same dudes who want to join in the same space as you to get over the fact that they got played. Then they want to go back out there after they learned some stuff from you. See, these dudes came into space to try to learn how to deal with these women in a different way. They wanted to learn from the guys who don't get women but was more smarter than them in life, not to deal with them. So this is what they did. And when they had their feel of hearing about certain things, they turned on the people that they was just in. Now I'm gonna give you clarifications on certain guys in the space who sneak dissed a lot of things and say certain things out their mouth, right? A little bit of list. And I'm gonna give you a little background. So your boy Xanados Clutch made a video to honor his legacy. And he had to, come into the shot and talk about Kevin Samuels. So, this is the same Xanados Clutch who took a shot at Charles Tyler in one of his live streams that basically I can't find now. He took it down. Somebody must have told him. I don't know who told him, but told him to take the video down because he was talking about passport men. He made a couple videos that I can't find no more on his channel. But, he does that shit. And eventually, I seen him in C Boogie's chat. But he wasn't talking trash. Then you have C Boogie, who, as you see on his... You know what I'm saying? Boogie. I don't want to hear his videos. He came from the manosphere. C Boogie was original of Obsidian's group, along with Rudent. C Boogie has frustrations with black women. This is why he glued to Obsidian. When he learned what he learned from guys who supposedly don't get women, he was the spy. He wanted to trade the things that he knew about the other side, the other men who don't so-called get women. He wanted to trade that in for a better position with women. And he turned against Obsidian on some acting like he was for MGTOW. And then eventually he turned a 160 and turned against all the men for women's validation. And all he got for his troubles was having sex with old ass retirement home females based off the rumors. And him turning against Game Changer and trying to expose Game Changer for the situation he had with Neon Eyes. He turned into a messy dude. He was a spy all along. Just like Xanatos is. He's a spy all along. He took shots at guys that he thought that was below him. He thinking that every man should jump in the gym and have a 6-pack abs, or everybody who should all go to the gym and be built and big muscled. Like everybody want to be big, everybody want to have them stature and want to walk around like that instead of having a normal body type. Xanatos and C Boogie was pro manosphere at one point. They was in the space. Then they start talking about the space. And they not talking, they don't want to, they never call, well, C Boogie burned his bridges on everybody in the manosphere for the stuff that he did. And he went full woman. And everything he tried to learn from being next to Obsidian, he traded it in for a higher position in with women. See, he'll never be at the same level or any higher in a woman's ranking system. But he will be, his position will be guard dog, top pander. He might be number 2 pander. See, a lot of these people, they want to, when they throw men under the bus, they throw men under the bus because they want a better position in a woman's system. That's all. So, you see, your boy C Boogie is making videos of Kevin Samuels and his time when he visited Kevin Samuels. And he did his little co-host, right? He doing his co-host gig. And talking to women on the space and all this other stuff. Right? Men like a C Boogie, he knows that if he joins women's side, he has 100% anonymity with women. But one thing that guys like this don't understand is that once women burn your bridges, you're done. Because it's gonna limit you with men. You already showed it. That's why a Derek Jackson can only be around a bunch of simps in that system. This is why I say a lot of these dudes who on a self-improvement side, including Kevin Samuels, they don't belong around men who are all about men things. I'm hearing that Kevin Samuels was endorsing SYSBM and saying this. No. He wasn't endorsing SYSBM. He only did it because he wanted another ally. He would have started talking. He would have started taking SYSBM talking points eventually. Same thing when he tried to do with passports. And he took a shots at passport guys in his past. And people don't know that. But, you know, with a guy like C Boogie. So, Donovan Sharp. So, most of his experiences, he pretty much lied to people about him having sex with other people's wives. And he showed the same pictures that he showed for like 9 years. Talking about his girlfriend Devin or wife Devin. And then the white manosphere started exposing him. Along with Black Pill Truth. Or whatever it's called. Black Pill Truth. That his channel is no longer on here. Donovan Sharp got exposed. Big time. He went right back to saying the same shit that he was saying before. Because since his enemy was going, then he can go back to saying whatever he want to say. Donovan Sharp is different, but he's still on the same side with women. See, he wants you to play this game in this country and think that you ain't gonna get hit. Because these guys think that they're gonna offer their way into anything. But this guy is married to a single mom, somebody said, and he got with an older woman. All that game, and this is the best you can do? He was full of shit. C Boogie and Donovan Sharp decided they want to go against Obsidian. This is why you can't be around these dudes, right? Remember the Black Manosphere meetup? And shout out to MOT for for actually pointing this out, that the Manosphere meetup was like 6 months ago. And all these dudes had a falling out. Minister Jack talking about before Kevin Samuels passed away. He talked about him, talked him how he told him not to hook up with Saint the Sinner. Then he ended up seeing in the pictures with Saint the Sinner. How grimy Kevin Samuels was when he was alive. He was a manifestation of all the people in the manosphere that was pushing him. They were a reflection of what he was and what he is. What he was. Grimy, steal people ideas, and then talk crap about people. BGS Igmore, him telling guys they need to go with fat chicks, and him being exposed for being a fat mailman looking dude. Teapot Prophet of Thought series, which even when people was going to his channel, I said I didn't like him because I still pointed out that he tried to roll out the carpet for women. People still entertain him after he did what he did. Obsidian with his little co-hosts and stuff going on. A lot of these guys banked on Kevin so they can continue to eat. Also, now they looking real slime ballish by picking off the fact that they act like they know him. But if any of these dudes passed away, they made MOT made that point, or somebody made that point in MOT's chat. He would have never cared about them. He would have never even acknowledged them. But they making a big deal out of them. Like, then you have Minister Jack and his going at passport guys. So I told people about why they was coming at passport men. They wanted to feel better then. It was like, where are these guys going? Why is these guys leaving so I can't make fun of them no more? Why they not gonna end up with my sloppy seconds? I told you that Minister Jap is I'm a better than you guy. So let me give you what he is. So that's what Minister Jap was all about. He went at passport guys because he wouldn't have anybody to talk down to and try to test the fight so he can get more vagina in this market. Because a guy like Minister Jap is tired of dealing with certain women, and he want a better, higher echelon of women. So he want to use the educated lames or the guys who can't get women. He want to boost himself up. I talked about this back in 2020. I'm not gonna reiterate that all the time. I mean, not over again. His whole point was, let's stop these guys from going overseas by slandering their names. Let's get these dudes hurt. So they was trying to get you passport men They was trying to get you hurt and killed. SYSBM, they think it's separate. But they was trying to get Passport Men and SYSBM hurt, and they was trying to slander their name. So they don't have nowhere to go but to go to the women they point to and say these are good women. It was all about controlling a group of men who they knew was better than them and had a clean record. They don't have baby mamas. They don't have this, oh yeah, man. They can always try to punk you out because you don't have street credibility like they do. So they can continue to say, continue to pick on you, bully you, and do anything they want to you because you don't have that street credibility. You don't have that swag or whatever they trying to do. So you would be the person that they pick on, and they have sex even better after they talk down to you, after they make fun of you, after they look down on you, after they tell you you a passport pervert or whatever they was telling. Mind you, this is 2 years ago. This is 2020. He's not the only one. Coach Greg Adams went at passport guys. A divorcee or whatever he was. They didn't like the fact that men didn't need them no more. They didn't like the fact that men figured it out by themselves without having to pay them. They were mad that people were leaving and they solved their own problems. They were mad about that. Like, whoa, y'all can't leave. Y'all can't leave without my help. Y'all can't leave without telling us. We got to benefit off that. That's not fair. Why y'all leaving? Why y'all going somewhere? Yeah, that's not good. They didn't want you to leave and go nowhere without them trying to benefit off of. Because also, a lot of them are jealous of the fact that you can pick better women than they can. If you go overseas as a man with no record, as a man with no child support, as a man who didn't have all this bad experience, they're going to try to poach whatever girl you got. So they wanted to come along with you to see who you going to pick. And then they're going to try to swag their win in and try to get your girl. But a lot of them can't do that because a lot of them don't want to put the effort in to go nowhere. So they want you to stay here so they can basically control your life. Your boy Solo TV 84. The funny part is that this dude switched sides more than anybody else. He was the hype man. I give him credit. He was the hype man for a lot of people. He created a lot of people. He put a lot of people on. He put Fresh and Fit on. AMS, Stephen Cold, and all these other different people he put on. But he never actually accelerated himself. And he was the best hype man in the so-called space, but he was a flip-flopper. And he also degraded men. And eventually, by him walking around degrading men, telling men they doing this and they ugly and this and that, most of the people, his fan base, started leaving him. So now he had to change up and become a crypto guy. And now he's all financial now. He wanted everybody to forget his past. And all the associations he had with certain people don't work. O'Shea Duke Jackson. He's a super slime ball. He used the manosphere for his place of experimentation and making money off of the problems of black people. At the same time, he tried to be a representative of most people. He tried to be a pro-black even though he don't live in America. He tried to go against pro-black. He tried to go against Passport Men, and he tried to go against SYSBM. Then try to turn around and act like he's for them. Then he turned around and say things like, then he went into celebrity drunk. When it got too full, when it got too hectic for him to deal with the consequences that he made, pretty much he left. He left the manosphere, and he left it to people who he knew wasn't gonna he knew he left it to people who was gonna do whatever they gonna want to do with it. Right? So one of the worst things that you probably got was when O'Shea opened the flood doors to all these different people. He the one that had Taz came in here. He the one that boosted Cynthia G. He the one that boasted Irene Yvette. He the one that put on Super Sly. Everything that all the drama that came in this space alone was mainly him. He brung half of these dudes into space that didn't belong here. And and then when it got too hectic, he bounced. Because he wanted to avoid responsibility. He brung in the book offers and everybody else. Falcon Black. So he's a super flip-flopper who believe in game and at the same time he tries to be too much. He tries to be he tried to be a whole bunch of stuff without being associated with stuff, right? His game is he's gonna take shots at Passport Men. He's gonna take shots at Red Pill, Black Pill. He's gonna take shots at everybody he can in order to get views and likes. You see him in chats just spilling nonsense. And then he tries to act like he's on people's sides. Like this right here. Use your passport like a bus pass. I don't think people understand the logic of SYSM. I never known them to state any woman is better than another, because they all women after all. They state that the different cultures was better and suited for family. I tend to agree with that. My wife is Brazilian and I have a home there now. Wishing the best to my traveling brothers. I hear you. By proxy, don't better people come from better cultures if you consider them better? Be careful. Someone's copywriting Passport Bro's name. So he has a problem because the women he deal with, other men say that they're not better than the women he deal with. So it's an ego thing. I see this dude in comment sections. I see him flip flop and everything else. These are the spies that you have in this in over here, right? The Sweet Life of Atari, a typical black woman who comes online and all she does is gossip.
You were injured in an accident.
All she does is gossip and is drama filled. This is all she does. This is drama right here. This is all her drama. This shows you that a lot of them, they benefit off of their whole main source of attention is benefited off of chaos and destruction. But these are the same women who got mad at Kevin Samuels for telling them off. And they're celebrating his passing and say he deserved it. So if Kevin Samuels deserves it, what that says about you getting attention from other people's problems. Right? These are the same people who benefit off of other people's problems. And she didn't start getting views until she started talking about let's see. She didn't start getting any views until she started talking about manosphere. Right? Her biggest views is the manosphere. Right? This is what I'm saying right here. Black men in general are the easiest targets to talk about and to make money from and get attention from. And the quote unquote incel is easy to identify and make other people a lot of money. Right? If you can make so many friends by saying that other people are incels. It's a scapegoat now. By saying somebody's an incel and they don't know nothing and they need to self-improve, you can meet a lot of people. And this is the reason why I said I can't have a lot of people around me. I can't be friends with people like that. I can't hang around with people like that if they scapegoating people and they use easy words like incel. Shows me that they don't have any kind of nothing. What I learned about the black manosphere. See, these channels like this benefit off of talking about drama and but about black men only. And her videos ain't start getting going until she start talking about the manosphere. You know who else did the same thing? Tracking the black manosphere. See? Feminine men do what feminine men do what black women do. They share the same thing. You know who else is talking about the manosphere in order to get views? Where is he at? What's up? Jerome Whiteside. So, I already gave you a heads up. I already gave you a history lesson with Jerome. He was a Jessica X supporter. He was licking her cheeks while she was shitting on the toilet. And when she blocked him, or not blocked him, when she took his wrench, he started going against the manosphere. So he took down half of his videos that he had. Let me check. Is this his video? Okay, I can see more now. So all he was doing was shorts. He was basically trolling people, right? Until he had a blow up with Jessica X. Then his video catalog shot up. This is what I talk about with feminine men. He didn't benefit in the ranking system of Jessica X. Every man, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, every man want to benefit from a ranking system of a particular group of women. Jerome Whiteside couldn't be a top person in Jessica X woman organization. That's Mr. Fantastic. So he got jealous and he started going at Jessica X. Look at his views. His views shot up when he talked about Jessica X. Then eventually they slowed down because people seen what he was doing. So when he talk about anybody bigger than him, his views shoots up. When he makes fun of people, men, his views shots up. And he talked about Edward Anderson. Now this is when his channel was all about manosphere stuff, but in between. So his video shots up when he started talking about Kevin Samuels. That's when he seen that the fact that he can talk about men and he could benefit from it, he could get in a higher ranking with women. This is when he started talking about black women this and, you're talking about black women and all this other stuff. Every dude, every weak man wants to be in a high ranking with women. That's what they want. So they would throw men under the bus and they would act like they wasn't around the same men. He's a spy as also. He was in the same chats talking about women, but he tried to learn the techniques against the men that he was on. But what they don't realize that you gonna always have to be a puppet for these women. The difference between being on the opposite side of the women, even though it looks like we're losing, it's about longevity. It's a war of attrition. It's not a war of how many battles you win. It's a war of how long and how many people gonna drop based off the consequences and their moveset. How arrogant they gonna get when they think they rule the world. How arrogant they gonna get if they think they're winning. This is why in history, smaller armies beat larger ones with guerrilla tactics. The guerrilla tactics that the manosphere uses ignoring them and doing other different things. But guys like this, they need instant gratification. So he started talking about Kevin Samuels. And when he talked about Mr. Fantastic, it didn't work anymore. Then he talked about Angry Man. Then he started talking about Jessica X. Didn't work. So he was barely getting 1,000. Then he started going at the manosphere right here. Then here we go. 6 months ago, he became full pander. Black women this and, you save the community that and stop talking about black women. He found his niche. He found his ranking system. So here we go. He's acting like he's on their side. When he deviates from what he does, not talking about black men, his views go down. So he had to continue to keep going around talking about black men. Then eventually, he stopped. Not because he got busy, because he's still in chats. He was just on a live with in I think Reg the Bad Guys stream, going at AJ and making fun of Kevin Samuels passing. So why is he not making videos? Because he has no opportunity to make a video. He's gonna cash in on Kevin Samuels passing. Of course he is. But I'm trying to show you how these dudes operate and the reason what they do, why they do it. So, you got this guy. You know what? Ask Nate. This is a guy who's a fucking clown, right? This dude is a photographer in order to get some vagina. And he does interviews in order to get some vagina. He's a failed passport guy, and he got hurt by a woman overseas, and he started going at men for getting a better, different option. So his whole channel is about trying to promote women in New York and trying to get men to come to New York and mess their whole life up messing with these chicks over there. So his whole thing is women over here. One thing I do give it to him, at least he's showing the women. Unlike Super Sly, who said it's women over here. So he tries to talk to women here to try to promote them. So, selling drugs and scamming, prostitution, what to expect for your future. Okay. He has no engagement like that. So, even though he does his pattern, he has no engagement like that all the time. What his job in a woman's ranking system is ego boosting. Every guy has an assignment and a job with women in their organizations. Some are ego boosters, some are salesmen, and some are comforters. They comfort these women and tell you that the men are bad and they're losers and this and this and that. They all have their job titles that they do for women. What he does is boost their ego, listen to their stupid stuff.
At the title, this is can't be no prize, little woman. It's fucking impossible.
Okay. The prophet of thought. So, you got this kid, cut to the chase, who thinks he knows it all because he has access to a bunch of ghetto behind educated women, right? So, let's see his video catalog. because he says he's too big for the manosphere. Now, he has 10 million views, but his topics are all mainstream stuff. Rap, mainstream stuff. I don't get why a guy like this is even in the manosphere in the first place. Right? You know why he came to the manosphere? Because he wanted to improve his life, or see what he was doing wrong, or see where it was coming from so he can try to fix it. He took whatever he took from the manosphere, fixed it up a little bit, or whatever he problem he had, and then he went back to doing this stuff. He's the very Pookie that everybody's talking about. He's a very drama-filled person he's talking about. A bunch of hip-hop rappers and his high views are based off him just talking about rappers and basically rappers. So this is what he's been doing the whole time. Rap videos and rappers. Of course he has high engagement and high numbers because he's all a part of the hip hop crap. This is 1,000% black culture stuff. Now, Super Sly, who took down his videos on him talking about passport men. I remember
Really, like black men do.
now, this was back last year when a black woman went to Jamaica. I think she's a YouTuber too, who tried to make all the men in Jamaica try to eat her out. And I try to tell people about this where these women think they have power over men, but they only have power over men in America because they have so many people in their organizations. So your boy, Reg the Bad Guy, made multiple videos about passport people. This is another guy who came to the manosphere to figure out his life. And came here to get his frustrations and vent or whatever he did. And he healed. He used the manosphere to heal himself a little bit. And then go off and talk about the manosphere. Then, this is the same guy who told me that he don't get mad and do all this other stuff. But then I seen him arguing on panels with somebody. Like a couple months after he says what he said to me. When we had our little run-in when he complimented Neon Eyes, right? So your boy Super Sly took all the videos down that he had with this. He had with her. They were supposed to do a video about black women traveling. But guess what? Guess what happened? That video was never made. I'll tell you what Super Sly's position is. He is there to be an entertainer, but he is there to feed off the energy of your suffering. Remember, I showed you what he said. He wants them to win. His job is to feed you to these women and have these women pretend like they nice. There's a lot of guys who are out here selling this shit, saying there's plethora of women out here and everything else. But a lot of them are not even out here in the dating world like that. And their taste in women is terrible. Your boy Brian Solange, the same guy who talk about passport men, right? Passport for pussy. The same guy who talk about pro-black stuff, but he's not gonna participate into having a kid in this society, but he's just gonna sit around and talk about you. Cause he think that being a Marlboro man is gonna magically make these women change themselves. But he don't get the fact that he wasn't one of the ones that they desired. When I tell you to stop messing with them, I want you to basically find your own happiness in your own way. I never told you to cut yourself off from females. I told you to go somewhere else. This guy wants you to cut yourself off and do sex styles and turn as mentally insane as he is. Ain't no way I'm going to have my ex-girlfriend's picture as my avatar while I'm talking about black women. Because this guy is what they think what they talk about when they say you hurt. A black chick hurt you. Who hurt you? This is the literally spokesperson for it. If you have your picture of your ex-girlfriend on your avatar, and you have the nerve to talk down to guys who found a solution that works for them, this whole crap of guys trying to control what other guys do is sickening, and it's weird. So Brian Solange's job is to do exactly what a super sly C Boogie Xanados Clutch does, but he does it in a way where he's acting like he doesn't like black women. His job is to be what black women is, but it comes from a black man. See, he don't want you to leave black women alone. He don't want you to take yourself nowhere else. He want to stay with the black people. He want power. He want you to generate power for him and grow his movement so he can become popular without participating in society. He want to have his own movement. So that's why he will talk about guys with passports, because he wants the passport men to be a part of his crew. He want more Marlboro mans. He want more radical guys like him, so he can not feel so alone. Because if he didn't think like that, he wouldn't be talking about passport men. That has nothing to do with him. But he wanted to chime in because passport guys was easy targets. Even the people who so closely against the community are all trying to target somebody to make themselves feel good about who they are. And they all trying to be leaders instead of being by themselves and being their own leader, being their own leaders for them. And whoever want to follow them, they follow them. If they don't want to follow you, you still your own man. You walk alone. If you don't have a group, you still walk alone. But a lot of these guys don't want certain men to leave so they can have somebody they can talk down to, or somebody they can try to convince to do something else their way. So Brian Solange is a dude, mentally unstable kind of dude, who wants you to be a part of his movement, wants you to start buying sex styles. He want to get rich off the sex style market. See, I could respect turf flanking monkey, Because Sir Flinging Monkey didn't go around telling guys or do this and do that. He didn't make fun of nobody. He gave you an option. Brian Salons try to tell you that you need to do this and stay away from because women are women everywhere. Okay, sure. Whatever you say. Your boy, Ramil Amir, made a video about a guy in Japan being a stepfather. His job is to try to turn you into this pseudo guy who will give women what they want in a sexual way because he's a practitioner of pump and dump. He don't get the fact is any type of attention or sex, anything that you do with these females in this country, especially the dysfunctional ones, it still adds to their ego. Even if you bad in bed, they can go around talking crap about you as a story. So, game changer. He still trying to tit for tat women and saying he got you. This brother is 40 years old, way older than I am. And he's in a position where he has money. So you ask yourself, why is this guy who has his shit together going back and forth with these women on every panel, and it's like he's pleading to have them change? It's because secretly he's one of the salesmen for women. Do I have to show you? He's co-ed. He's trying to promote that there's some good women out here. He's promoting the Nika Marie. He's trying to be, hey man, there's some good women out here. This is the same guy who got played by Jessica X, Cocaine Kells, and I don't see Melanie in his space like that, or maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. It's a scary thought that a guy who has pretty much everything is still trying to believe in a family. It seemed like he's kind of delusional because he wants to try to change these women because he really want to be with them. And he doesn't care how long it takes him to try to accomplish this. He said it himself. I want to point out the good women and all this other stuff, but none of them come your way. None of them came on panels. Everybody you entertain end up being dysfunctional. From Cocaine Kells to Jessica X, from that nerdy chicks who had her high standards too high. All these different people. Jessica X, who came off the manosphere. She came up off the manosphere because a lot of guys were sick and tired of the women that they had access to. Jessica X didn't grow off just the men who couldn't get women. It grew off the men who were tired of the women they were dealing with. She benefited off of a lot of men finding hope that a girl that looks good will be a better option than the women that they're dealing with now. I told you before, the women are tired of these dudes, and the dudes are tired of these women. And they try every single thing to switch up, and they try every single thing to switch up and to alternate what they doing to each other, and they try to do every other stuff and do this and do that, and it's pretty much not working like that. This is why they have to come at you hard and dance on people's graves and stuff like that, because they need that. They need that extra. How can I put it? They need that extra uh aphrodisiac, Viagra of life. Because a lot of them are miserable. This is why they always in drama. This is why they have to talk down to you. This is why they often have to be against you. This is why. Jessica X was the hope giver for some of these guys. Maybe there's a woman out there like Jessica X that I can date, and I don't have to date this ugly girl anymore. Yes, I'm happy about that. I don't have to deal with these people no more. Oh yes. And then when she disappointed him, aka Jerome Whiteside, they had to they gotta do the same old. Go against black men so they can try to find their options. A lot of these dudes, wait, are trying to get a bigger pool of women. Cause they're sick of the same type of women they with or dealing with. So what they're trying to do is throw as many men under the bus so their options can open up to more women. And once they get a certain type of woman, they can start feeding the woman's ego based off throwing you under the bus. So imagine how bad it will be. How many men they got to sacrifice. How many men they have to sacrifice in order to get the women they want. This is the reason why they went after passport men. Because passport men was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not throwing men under the bus. I'm not tap dancing for y'all. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just going over there. Oh, you going overseas for this and this and that. You nasty. Oh, you do this. They was willing to slander your name because you were smart enough not to play the game over here, a losing game and in a losing system. But they got us play this game and they don't like it. So they have to try to make you miserable like they are. And Jessica X, she was all over the place. She tried to be with SYSBM. She tried to be on men's side. But she exposed herself many times on Aegon's stream. She exposed herself in the chats. She exposed herself talking down to everybody and anybody. And it was crazy. Everybody thought they had a savior in Jessica X. And when they didn't have that savior, they lost hope and they started talking trash about the manosphere, aka Jerome Whiteside. So the whole point of this video is to show you that the reason why the red pill men, the men who don't want to follow all this other crap, the reason why you will always be the enemy is because you don't want to be in a woman's system. And these guys are locked into a woman's system. They are jealous of the fact that you don't have none of the experiences. They are mad that you have the opportunity to have a clean break without any of the experiences. Why do you think that they always try to throw the fact that you're a virgin in your face all the time? Why do you think they try to throw it in your face that you don't have a girlfriend or a wife, or you need to go out here and do this and do that? Because they want you to mess your life up like they messed theirs life up. They want you to be under a woman. They want you to be fooled by a woman. They want you to see. They want you to be as weak as they are to vagina. They want you to be a guy who get ran by women. In general, these dudes are ran by women. They work for women. They are run by women. They get paid in vagina. They get paid in vagina and compliments from these women. And they want you to be just the same. I always ask this question to these dudes. If somebody threw acid on your face, do you think you would still get women? If somebody chopped your legs off and put you in a wheelchair, would you think you'd still get women? If your penis didn't work, do you think you could still get women? The only man who didn't have a penis got the only man that I saw in fiction. No, not fiction. What did I say? Let's see. In nonfiction was Grey Worm from what is it? Grey Worm from Game of Thrones. He had Missandei. That's it. And I'm talking about the character, not the actress. The actress is a terrible person in real life. But the character on Game of Thrones. Only guy that I know who got a woman without having without having the necessary tools. And I don't think none of you are real life Grey Worms. Be real. So a lot of these dudes, I think that you have to prepare yourself to always be shamed, talked about, and you always got to look at where this stuff is coming from with these dudes. When somebody tells you that you need a girlfriend, ask them, why do I need a girlfriend so a woman can try to control me? Why do I need a girlfriend so I can be controlled by her emotions? Why do I need a girlfriend who make me spend extra money? Why do I need a girlfriend that can put me in jail for drama? Keep countering everything they point and say, take out the sex. What do I get out of this? Being with this woman. If I can do anything by myself right now, and I've been doing it before the girl came out, what's she going to add to my life? And then they will come back with, that's why you don't get this and this and that, and say, okay, is sex really that important? Or are you going to minimize me to sex with a woman? So that means that I'm not a man until I get a woman. But if I said that about a woman, if she's not with a woman, if she's not a woman until she get with a man, would you agree with that? And then there you will see how they look. I already have experience with this. That's why they called the feds on me on Facebook. This is why I created so many enemies on Facebook where they had to group up and lie on me and stuff like that. I mastered this real quick. I mastered this. I just thought about this because Kevin Samuels passed away and it popped in my head, was like, oh, this reminds me of that. All the stuff, the the disgusting stuff that I seen, what these women did, it popped back in my head to all the stuff that I had to deal with back then, and the screenshots that I showed you, the kind of stuff that they were saying to me. So it popped in my head and made me memorize all the stuff that they said about me, even though I'm alive. All the stuff, the greasy stuff they said about me, and it popped in my head. It was like, wow, they doing the same thing to him, and all the techniques that I did before. They want you to be beholden to a girl because they know in this society, women rule and they don't have to rule. They just follow what a woman says and what a woman does and what a woman wants. This is why a lot of guys are more agreeable to pleasure a woman more than a woman pleasures them. Put more work in the bedroom than a woman put in the bedroom for them. Treat the woman better than the woman treats them. They don't care for a woman impressing him. They just care about impressing a woman. A lot of these guys are trapped. And then a lot of these guys throw men under the bus. And what this Kevin Samuels thing shows you is that a lot of guys, they want to be a part of the ranking system for women. They want to be in a system and a plan. They don't want to make their own plan up. So just remember, when somebody calls you an incel, or say you don't get this and you hate women and all this other stuff and all this other crap that they all talking about, yeah man, this and this, and you hate women and blah blah blah, you gotta understand where it's coming from. These are men who already gave up their power and they will to be men. I mean, this just yesterday, DJ Academics went on a rant about marriage and college and all this other stuff, but this guy is a super simp. I mean, DJ Academic is known to be a super hardcore simp, but he had the nerve to talk about red pill men. Same thing with Tommy. He talked about the so-called manosphere, and he added everybody in the manosphere. He was like, oh, the manosphere dudes and this and that. I'm like, didn't you just get punched in the face by a girl like a couple months ago? And didn't you lose like a whole bunch of, didn't you lose like 3-4 channels? But you got the nerve to be talking trash? I like, man, this dude is never gonna learn. I don't think he'll ever learn to try to be humble. And it's like, this is what I talked about. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about right then and there. Is that guys like this. Academics, he's a super simp. So I don't get why he's trying to talk about marriage and all this. Okay, show us what marriage looks like. Why don't you get married? And see how you go and see what happens in court. Go ahead. This is why and this is the whole point. Certain men have their jobs in society under this women power to try to do certain things, to get men to do certain things. Their whole job is to make sure that women are happy all over. And I might make a video for that too. But just know where it comes from. And know why they do certain things. And expect anything out of these type of dudes. slander, betrayal, and even sometimes violence if you let them get that close. I learned the hard way that I can't trust these dudes with secrets. I can't trust these dudes even to be around. And I don't think you can either. And you got to identify who they are and what system they're a part of and what their job title is.